Welcome back to the deep dive. Look, if you're involved in getting clicks or traffic or even ad revenue the old-fashioned way online, um, I've got some news that's frankly a bit alarming.
Mm-hmm.
The whole way we thought about optimizing content, it feels like it's cracking. We're heading into this new phase where stuff that ranked #1,
It's just getting bypassed now.
that's exactly it. And, what we're seeing is this almost existential pressure building on traditional SEO, search engine optimization.
Right.
The core issue, based on the sources we looked at, comes down to this massive statistic. 60 to 65% of searches, they end without anyone clicking on a traditional link.
Wait, 60 to 65?
Yeah. Just think about what that means. The search results page, the SRP,
Yeah.
it isn't just a doorway anymore. For most people, it is the destination. It just gives them the answer right there.
That's a huge majority. So for, legacy publishers, affiliate folks, anyone who relied on that top of funnel traffic, this sounds like a crisis.
It is a major shift. If 2/3 of searches don't lead to a click, what do you even do? How do we adapt? And this seems to be where this new idea comes in. Answer engine optimization, AEO.
AEO is exactly that strategic pivot.
Yeah.
Traditional SEO was all about volume, right? Getting traffic by ranking for keywords.
Mm.
AEO is more about authority and structure, making sure your content is perfectly set up so these AI models, these large language models like ChatGPT, Gemini, Copilot, can synthesize it and present your info as the definitive answer.
Okay, so if we're shifting away from optimizing purely for clicks and more towards relevance,
Yeah.
Our info extracted, what does that mean technically? How do we actually make our content easy for AI to, digest?
Yeah, the main focus is clarity, structure. That means things like really succinct summaries, well-structured FAQs, and you absolutely have to use what's called schema markup.
Okay, hang on. Let's pause there. Schema markup.
Yeah.
For listeners maybe not deep in the technical side, what exactly is that?
Okay, think of schema-like adding little labels to your data for the AI. So instead of the AI just guessing, oh, maybe this text block answers that question, schema explicitly says, this bit is the product name, this is the rating, this is the answer to that FAQ.
Oh, okay.
You're basically spoon-feeding the LLM exactly what it needs, making its job, instant.
Right, taking the guesswork out. So AEO, answer engine optimization. It sounds like optimization, which brings up that debate we saw pop up everywhere. Is this really some brand new strategy, or is it just, good SEO with a, what was the phrase, a wanky new abbreviation?
Yeah, I saw that one. Well, it's maybe more than just semantics, but you can see why people are skeptical.
Sure.
Some folks argue, look, SEO isn't dead till search engines are dead, so AEO is just like a part of modern SEO. But then others bring up related ideas like GEO, generative engine optimization.
GEO. Okay, now the one, is that different again?
Yeah, GEO is often talked about as like the next step. AEO is about getting your website content ready for extraction. GEO is more focused on making sure the AI uses that content correctly when it's having a conversation, maybe giving a personalized response.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, whether you call it AEO or GEO, the fundamental need is the same. You need structured content and critically content that feels, authentic.
Right, and if AEO hinges on authenticity, where are people finding that right now? Because the sources we read kept pointing almost overwhelmingly to one place, Reddit.
Reddit, yes, that's the data donut we absolutely have to get into. It's rise in search visibility. It's genuinely historic.
Definitely.
We saw data showing this, frankly, unprecedented jump. 1,348% increase in Google search visibility for Reddit. That was just between July 2023 and August 2024.
1,300%.
Yeah.
But that just doesn't happen, does it? Not organically in search.
Exactly. That kind of meteoric rise across the board. It's not just some algorithm tweak. It reflects a real shift in how people search, and the algorithms are catching on.
So why? Why Reddit specifically?
Well, think about it. The web's getting flooded with AI-generated articles, right? Stuff written just for SEO, just to get clicks.
Yeah, loads of it.
So users are getting wise. They're actively typing Reddit into their Google searches now. They're specifically looking for, real human perspectives, unfiltered advice, not the corporate line or something a marketer cooked up. They want to cut through the noise.
That makes total sense. They're looking for the real conversation, not a sales pitch disguised as info.
Precisely. And the LLMs, they've noticed this demand for authentic, human-approved content. So Reddit, along with places like Quora and LinkedIn, it's now one of the most cited sources in Google's own AI overviews.
Wow.
Google even has a partnership, right? So those Reddit threads, they have huge influence on the final answer the AI gives you. When you post on Reddit, you're essentially training the AI on how people perceive your brand.
Okay, this is where it gets really critical for, the bottom line. Because this isn't just about finding funny cat pictures or advice on fixing a leaky tap. This is hitting commercial intent hard.
Oh, absolutely. The commercial impact is enormous. We saw stats showing 5.7 million searches every month with transactional or commercial intent.
5.7 million.
Generating over 126 million visits through Reddit every single month. That's serious bottom of funnel action.
126 million visits a month. Driven by people looking to buy stuff. That really does change how you think about the sales funnel.
It completely does. And the sources highlighted something else fascinating. Reddit is now actually outranking big established review sites, like G2, Capterra,
Really?
for things like software reviews. Yeah. For high-value commercial searches like Best CRM, these sites that used to be the go-to for buying decisions, they're losing visibility while Reddit's claiming. And it's not just tech, it's across every niche. Think about best coffee machines. 49,000 people search that every month. A lot of them are now landing on Reddit threads, not some dedicated review site.
Okay, the message is loud and clear. Reddit is where these really valuable high-intent discussions are happening.
Yeah.
But let's be real, building your strategy around Reddit. It sounds kind of risky, doesn't it? Redditors are famous for, well, savaging obvious marketing attempts.
That is the #1 warning. You absolutely have to respect that. Redditors are, let's say, ruthless about authenticity.
Right.
If you sound like a marketer, if you break the subreddit's rules, if you aren't upfront about who you are, you'll get called out, probably roasted, maybe even banned. That's why we need this lurk, listen, leap approach.
I like that framework. Lurk, listen, leap. It emphasizes patience, right? Not just jumping in. So phase 1, lurk. This is the research phase. Before you even think about posting.
Exactly. Before your team posts anything, they need to be looking at the search results pages themselves. Which subreddits are already showing up for your main keywords? That tells you where there's already, like, a content market fit for your business.
Find where Google already trusts Reddit for your topic.
Precisely. And look for formats that work. That example of the New York pizza tier list. If you see something like that ranking well, that kind of format could probably work in your niche too, whatever it is.
So look for existing success. How do we make sure we're lurking in the right communities for our specific audience?
Well, beyond just looking at Google, you can use tools. I think SparkTuro was mentioned. Tools like that can actually cross-reference people who visit your website with the subreddits they hang out in.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it gets you past the guesswork. You find out exactly where your potential customers are already talking.
Okay, that's lurk. Phase 2, listen. Gathering intel, figuring out the sentiment.
Correct. You can use Reddit's own trends tab, see how much chatter there is, look for brand mentions. But even more important is sentiment analysis.
What people actually feel about you.
Exactly. Tools like Gummy Search were mentioned. They help you benchmark what the community and therefore what the AI is learning currently thinks about your brand. If there are negative stories out there, the AI is training on that negativity. Listening becomes like brand defense.
That's a really interesting point.
Yeah.
How can listening on Reddit actually feed back into, say, product development, not just marketing?
Oh, hugely. It's an improvement channel. If you keep seeing users asking for certain features, like the coffee machine example again, maybe everyone wants built-in grinders or talks about machines breaking too soon.
Right.
That feedback needs to go straight to your product team. It should shape your roadmap, your messaging, you're addressing the actual pain points the community is talking about.
And culturally. You need to blend in, right? You can't sound like a corporate memo.
Oh, definitely not. You have to learn the language. Understand the acronyms they use. OP, ELI5, TL, DR, AMA, TIL, all that stuff.
Got it.
Use casual language.
Yeah.
Use humor if it fits the subreddit's vibe. Maybe even memes or GIFs like that Moana the Rock thing mentioned in the source. But only after you've really listened and understood the culture. You got to sound human, not like some PR bot.
Okay, makes sense. So finally, phase 3, leap. We've lurked, we've listened. How do we actually start engaging without getting instantly roasted?
First things first. Grab your minimum viable presence now. That means securing your brand's own subreddit, like your brand name, and getting a user account, like your brand name. Do it before somebody else squats on them.
Claim your space.
Yeah. Getting a username back might be doable, but getting a squatted subreddit back, apparently that's incredibly hard.
Okay, good tip. And then when engaging, transparency is key.
Yeah, absolutely paramount. If you recommend your own product, you have to disclose your affiliation, full stop. And focus on adding real value, answer a question, solve a problem, don't just sell. Avoid corporate jargon like the plague. It's about joining the conversation authentically, not barging in.
What about the quickest win, the sort of low-hanging fruit here?
Easiest thing with potentially high ROI, install the Reddit retargeting pixel on your important website pages, like right now.
Retargeting pixel, how does that work with Reddit?
It's just a little piece of code. It tracks people who visit specific pages on your site, say your pricing page, which shows high intent, right? If they then go browse relevant subreddits, maybe checking out competitors, you can show targeted ads directly to them on Reddit while they're still in that research mode. It's high ROI, pretty low risk.
Smart. And what about reusing content we already have? Bringing our existing SEO work into this AEO world?
Definitely. Take your best blog posts, your guides, whatever's performing well elsewhere, and repurpose them for Reddit. Make them Reddit friendly. Redditors actually don't mind links if they genuinely add value to the discussion.
Oh, okay.
Frame it right, offer real insight. Those links can still drive good traffic. Remember that marketer who took the pizza list idea and applied it to Halifax? Got like 40,000 impressions. It shows good formats work anywhere if you do it authentically.
So wrapping this up, we've traced this big shift, haven't we? Moving from just ranking in SEO to focusing on relevance, structure, and maybe most importantly, authenticity for AEO. And Reddit seems central to that authenticity piece.
It really does. Success seems to come from seeing Reddit not just as another place to push marketing messages, but as a channel to actually improve your product and understand and maybe shape how people genuinely feel about your brand.
It's about trying to influence that real story that's being told.
Exactly. You need to think about how you're adding to the genuine human conversation because that is what the AI is learning from. If you just ignore those Reddit threads, the AI builds its understanding based on whatever chatter happens to be there.
That really is the crux of it, isn't it? Search has memory now. LLMs give these personalized answers. If the AI is training on whatever sentiment about your brand it finds on Reddit, well, how quickly do you need to pivot to move away from just churning out SEO articles and start actively influencing those real human conversations?
Yeah. If you haven't lurked, listened, and figured out your strategy, that conversation about your brand, it's already happening, just without you.
That feels like the challenge for basically every content team, every marketing team right now. You need intentional, authentic engagement. Or the AI is just going to tell your brand story based on the unfiltered stuff you ignored.
That's the mandate. Absolutely.
Really insightful stuff. Thanks for digging into this with us today on The Deep Dive.
My pleasure. Good discussion.
We'll catch you next time.